The video for January 30th, 2017 is entitled The Fake Spirituality of Neutrality. It does matter. There are sides. There is truth, and there are lies. This planet was co-opted a long time ago by those who chose to play on the dark side. They are liars, and their fraud has been the bill of goods sold to the masses of humanity for millennia. I am convinced, despite all the disappointments I have endured, that truth wins, and only truth can set us free. There is no neutral ground in this battle for souls. If the dark wins, humanity will become soulless machines, robots programmed to serve those who oppose the Creator. The false god, many call Lucifer, is a tyrant, not wanting to relinquish his delusion of grandeur. He was a liar from the beginning. Why the Creator would allow such a being to even exist is insane, yet not nearly as insane as allowing crimes against creation to continue for so long. You can believe you are neutral, but making no choice is choosing the false, malevolent paradigm. As for me, I choose love, which is all the commandments rolled into one. What do you choose? It's been an interesting day. First of all, when I just came to the computer to begin recording this video, and it's going on 3 o'clock in the afternoon here, I was surprised that I had already written the blurb, and I don't remember writing it. I just read it to you, but there it was. I was going to write a new blurb. I had a new idea in my head. And I was surprised to see this one already there. And as I said, I don't even remember writing that one, but there it is on the computer. I went to the Methodist Church again this morning, which I've been going to since the beginning of June last year. And ironically, I met the people that I had met before, but I didn't know their last name that go to that church. And they are the Wickham family. Now, why is that important? Why do I bring that up? That was what I was going to talk about when I just came to the computer. You notice the sign behind me under I am. It says Dr. Mary A. Horgan, Center for Spiritual Development. That's the sign that was posted on my front door for years in my home. After Dr. Mary died, I opened the Mary Horgan Center for Spiritual Development. Dr. Mary Horgan, in her church, had the Wickhams, who are influential members of the Melbourne community and have been for a long time. And here I'm interacting a little bit with some of the people that were last named Wickham, but I never knew their last name till today, when they had one of their it's the sixth generation of Wickhams baptized in the Methodist Church. 6 generations it goes back. So they are one of the foremost families. In fact, the Wickham Road is named after them, and Wickham Park. And there's all sorts of things that are monument to the Wickham family. And here I've been going to church with some of them. And in Dr. Mary's church, the Wickhams were influential in her church as well. I don't know if there's many members of the family, so I don't know which members were connected to the Methodist Church and which ones were connected to Dr. Mary's church. I did speak a little bit with the Wickhams that I've been knowing for the last, half a year, a little over half a year. And I'm going to meet with them in the near future. I haven't yet, but I found that very fascinating. Now, Dr. Mary was science of mind, and unity is very similar to science of mind. And I have very strong connections, of course, to Dr. Mary. She was my spiritual mom. She called me the son, or the child, actually. She never had any children. And she and I became very, very good friends up until the time of her death. And she ended up willing her property to me. But first she had given it to her banker, who could cajole her into letting them handle her financial financial stuff. And I know I'm not even on the topic yet that I put down and wrote the blurb about. But in any case, she played an instrumental role in my life. And I ended up inheriting half of her estate, which is another whole story. But the fake spirituality of neutrality is what unity and science of mind, some of the people that are involved there, they don't believe that there is any right and wrong, that it's just this thing that we're floating on, and it doesn't matter whether we choose sides or not, because ultimately we're all playing the same game. And there may be truth in that. I'm not going to deny that at some level we're not all coming from the same source, that God is all in all, even the dark ones. And why a loving God would allow such travesties to exist. And they say, well, it's just an illusion. Sure. But it's an illusion insofar as this is physical. That's not an illusion. Even though you can scientifically prove that it's mostly air, mostly nothing there. Atoms, composed of atoms, and atoms are mostly nothing. Nevertheless, it is what we experience as humans. And you can't be neutral in this game. If you're neutral, you're saying it's okay for the dark influences to continue to run roughshod over our rights. It's okay for them to continue to lie to us and withhold the truth about ourselves, even to block any spiritual movement or political movement that would bring truth into the picture and liberate us from the deception, from the gross lies and the gross violence that has permeated human culture as far back as we can remember. But we don't have to look far back. We can only look at what's happening now in our current illusion, if you want to call it that, in our current manifestation, if you want to call it that. What's happening is there is great division, and we are here, in my opinion, and we have to make a choice. Do you want to play on the light side, or do you want to play on the dark side? If you choose to continue to play on the dark side, and you can make that choice by not choosing, I guess, although I really don't completely agree with what I just said myself. I do believe that there's innocence involved when you've been so badly misled that you really are clueless. Although if we go inside at all, and I get told, well, Ron, meditate. Well, I do meditate. Although over the past year, it's become more difficult than it used to be because of the disappointments that I've talked about so many times. And I'm not neutral. And I'm not going to go back to being neutral. Some people in the last video suggested that I take a more neutral stance, that I stop being attached to the outcome. Well, I am attached to the outcome. I have felt since I was a little boy that I was here to bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. And it's not here yet. How will I know when it's here? I'll know because all of a sudden the truth is going to come out and things are going to be turned pretty much 180 degrees. I don't believe that's going to be an instantaneous transformation, but I do believe it's going to take place relatively quickly. Once we know the truth, we will begin to be liberated and set free from the paradigm of debauchery and crimes against humanity and theft and deception. And they're crimes. They're crimes that we have allowed and we have experienced. And I don't go along with the fake spirituality of neutrality. I make a choice. I choose good. I choose to be part of the kingdom of heaven on earth. I choose to uplift the Christ that is in all of us, or the Buddha that is in all of us. And to me, they're the same thing. They're not two different things. They're the same thing. It's the Spirit of God in us. Thank you for listening. Namaste.